Alright guys, welcome back to Formula 1 news, and Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes are feeling confident going into the Belgian Grand Prix, believing a win is certainly on the cards this season. Hamilton implying they are here to cause havoc in the second half, and also a potential rear wing upgrade that might bring them closer to the front of the field. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you are new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. First of all, just to mention, the Mercedes guys were kind of doing the past, present and future of AMG. It's been 55 years since Mercedes AMG was a thing. This car in the background here that I believe won 24 hours of Spa like 55 years or so ago was the first kind of AMG Mercedes thing. It was red at the time, and there was kind of a mock-up livery they did with almost like the Mercedes looked like half a Ferrari, half a Mercedes, because it was a red nose and then silver body. Now, like, they could have done a livery like that for this weekend. They're not going to, though, just because, I mean, especially with a triple header, repainting the entire car, like, it's just too much effort for what it's worth. So instead of doing that, the livery is the same, but they're adding these stickers, if you guys missed it, to kind of give it an old school motorsport type feel. So that's what's going on with Mercedes on the superficial side, but of course they're going to hope their car is actually somewhat more competitive this week anyway. Part of it might be this rear wing. Now Albert, of course, he's in the paddock, he's taking pictures, trying to feel what's going on here. Now it looked like almost briefly Mercedes had been trying some sort of Aston Martin in Hungary style wing with a more kind of straight up edge here. Now people were kind of zooming in on this and saying, okay, it looks kind of like a new rear wing. If I kind of zoom in here, well, I guess I'll bring the big screen up. You guys can see what it looks like on the left-hand side. It looks kind of strange. There's two elements to this back part of the rear wing. We've seen Mercedes try out some different things with their rear wing so far this season. This may have been part of that feature. And even if we, bring it up right here, you can see the two lines, and then the two lines here as well, that people are thinking, okay, wow, is this some new innovation by Mercedes? Probably, well, almost certainly not the big upgrades that we heard rumored by Juan Pablo Montoya just a couple of days ago, but turns out that actually another engineer came along and covered this up with a module that I think was the intention all along. Still, this is a slightly different rear wing design than a lot of teams presently have, but yeah, I don't think it's a massive upgrade or anything like that. Seems like it's pretty much the same rear wing, but with this module missing from the original pictures. Now still, could it be something? Could it be, is this module always going to be here? Could they take it off in certain situations? I don't really know, but more than likely there was just a piece missing, and there's nothing really more to say. But it does seem like Mercedes have said, at least before, well, over the summer break, they are bringing some upgrades every weekend. This big upgrade we heard rumored, I don't think is coming this weekend, but there might be some changes to the car this weekend that they believe are going to improve it. Probably not on the rear wing, but maybe well elsewhere. And that's given Mercedes some confidence that they can get their first win of the season at some point. Of course, look, Hamilton's still going to chase down that record of having won a Grand Prix at the very least in every single season that he's raced in. He's done that for the last 15 years. He's been in Formula 1. Obviously, well, the record actually, I believe, is Michael Schumacher, also at 15 years. So, of course, he wants to at least break that record if he can't break his World Championship winning record of 7 World's titles. But yes, 11 podiums in the first 13 races. They're now looking for the first win of the season. Hamilton as well has had a few words to say here. He turns up to kind of, discuss everything with the audience and says, look, in the second half, they are here to cause havoc. And, well, obviously, that's an interesting way to phrase things, really, saying that, okay, yeah, they're obviously looking for a race victory, but also they believe they can potentially play a part in how the championship looks. It looks like it's going to be Max Verstappen for the win, Red Bull for the win, but who knows, right? Maybe something interesting can happen if Charles Leclerc has a great run of form and Mercedes can, well, force Verstappen further down the grid such that he gets less points. Maybe there's still a championship fight here. Maybe that's what Hamilton's getting at.
We had this really strong run. We hope we can continue it forward. We plan to. We're going to manifest it. So we're here to cause havoc in the second half of the season.
And it does seem like he's bringing an awful lot of confidence into the second half of the season. He has reiterated that he still loves Formula 1. He's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. And he says, look, I definitely think that our first win is close. Of course, we've been improving. We've got this consistency that's come up over the recent races. That is great progress that the team is making. Everyone is pulling together, continuing to push, and the car is becoming more of a racing car, which is particularly not what it was at the beginning of the season, right? Saying that it's actually, I think the phrase he used the other day was, was that, now he's actually leading the car rather than the car leading him, which is quite the change from how it was at the start of the season. And further upgrades to come, of course. The Mercedes have very evidently iterated over the last couple of weeks or so. And yes, they're here to cause havoc the second half of the season. What does this mean? How many race wins, if any, are actually on the cards? Some have said maybe this weekend could be a good chance for Mercedes, just because we saw the rumours earlier today that at the very least Charles Leclerc is more than likely going to take an entirely new power unit that will put him to the back of the Grand Prix. Who knows what's going to happen with Carlos Sainz? They probably won't do it with both Ferraris. They might well do it though for one of the Red Bulls. It's possible that they will decide to put Perez to the back or Verstappen to the back, depending on the situation. That obviously would make for a very spicy race on Sunday if those two had to fight their way through the field. But it could at least mean whichever way things go, there could be one or two cars at the front of the grid less, than there might usually be to compete for the race victory. So this could be a good weekend for Mercedes. Of course, far from guaranteed. They may also decide that it's time to take some penalties, because they will need to take another power unit at some point or another, these Mercedes guys, because, 3 ICEs and 3 engines for the whole season is just really not going to cut it with all the races that we have nowadays. So difficult to maintain. But it makes it exciting for fans, right? There will be penalties. Mercedes might decide not to take them whenever they feel like they've got a great chance at a race victory, which might be this weekend. It might be in a race to come soon. And actually, Damon Hill, who in fairness, I think he actually predicted going into France that it was going to be a Mercedes 1-2, which in fairness, it wasn't too far away. I think it was, the 2-3, right, that Mercedes had in France. But realistically, that wasn't necessarily so much on merit. In fairness, it probably would have been a 3-4 if not for the Leclerc crash, and also maybe Sainz could have done better, but, Ferrari pitted him and all this type of stuff after he just made his way through the field on the mediums. But, still, Damon Hill is generally rather confident that these British drivers are going to have dominant performances. The 1-2 in France prediction was pretty mega. Now, look, he does believe to a certain extent that this kind of, the change to the technical directive that is preventing the flexi floors that apparently Red Bull and Ferrari have been using. He reckons that's going to pick them back somewhat, and therefore giving Mercedes more of an opportunity. Damon Hill says it's going to be Lewis this weekend for the win. If it's going to be anyone other than the obvious, a Max Verstappen victory, then I feel like it's going to be Lewis, because I feel in my bones he's going to win a race this year. We shall see, of course, if any of Damon Hill's predictions will actually come true this season. But very much enjoy your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new as always. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.